I'm going to use the band in a class. I was planning to use the band if you want to. And so just if you give permission, I see Sam's iPad is there, but she's not on yet. I'll go ahead and mute everyone. Ta-da, ta-da. And we're going to start in our most wonderful fundamental place. We're going to start on our backs. Yay, says Liv. Okay, hi Sam. Okay, so I'm going to start on my back and just find my neutral pelvis firstly. With my feet flat on the ground, with my hands just gently resting on my bones of my pelvis, the hip bones and the pubic bone, and just kind of seeing where everything is relative to being level and flat. And just taking a few slow breaths and sinking the bones that are touching the floor into your mat. Just kind of let them relax, let them feel grounded and supported. And as you're breathing, that feels really controlled and calm right down into your pelvis. And breathing all the air out. You should feel, if your hands are still on your pelvis, you should feel that breathing action right down to your fingertips if they're resting above your pubic bone. And I'm going to start to take that into a gentle imprint. So as you breathe out without clenching, just gently rolling the back into the floor. And then inhaling and releasing back to neutral. And again, exhaling, gently rolling the back into the floor. Start to notice the softening down on the ribs and the tone change around your shoulders when you do. Let the ribs fully sort of slide down. At first I have to ask. So it starts off a little bit, not forceful, but instructional. And then I can relax into it a little bit and make it less effort because my body then knows what to do and it knows not to clench the bum. And this is actually a pattern we work on regularly. I'm going to find my imprint and just gently stay there with my back flat on the ground. And I'm going to notice my neck for a moment. So I've lengthened out the S bend of my lower spine. And I'm going to just tip my chin into my chest as I breathe out, lengthening the S bend of the top of my spine and feel that really big stretch. And then release it back to just letting your chin relax. And I'll do it again, and I'm going to tuck my neck in a little bit, keeping the head on the floor, lengthening the back of the neck. You can hear how it changes my voice. And then bringing it back into the natural S bend and letting your spine, your lower spine, spring back as well. We're just going to take the arms and reach them up and back overhead. That may feel like it arches the ribs a little bit, noticing, and then bringing the arms back over and down next to your hips. And I'm going to feel the width of my shoulders, back of my arms, wrists and hands down without chopping up the ribs. And then again, inhale up with those arms and back. And exhale, bring them back down next to your hips, sliding those ribs down. Then I'm going to just flip my hands, palms up, and slide them out to the side, so shoulder height. And I'm going to roll my head to the right side and just feel what stretch there is available there. And then roll my head across the back of my head and over to the other side and see what stretch there is there. And then go back again. So what might make that stretch feel a little bit more is if I really reach out the opposite hand through the fingertips, find a bit of extension, and then back off. I back off my fingers, my hand as well, my head. And then as I roll the head to the other side, I'm going to stretch out all the way to my fingertips, still keeping the arm on the floor, but just feeling that nerve stretching, and then roll it back again. I'll do it one more time. Head to the side and reaching out the opposite fingers, just stretching the arm, and then backing off. Sometimes that neural information can be quite powerful. Try and keep it out of tension, but just lengthening and then bringing it back into the center. I'm going to bring my arms up above my shoulders, and I'm going to go into a little protraction, retraction, where I slide my shoulder blades off the floor, reaching up, and then bring them back, widening them, place them on the ground again, and slide them up. Feel the back widen a little bit, and then shoulder blades nice and wide as you place them on the ground. One more time, soft ribs, reaching up and bring them back down. This time I'm going to reach my arms back overhead, just kind of feel the length through the front of the body, and then bring those arms over the top and place them wide shoulder blades, intentional on the back of my arms, wrists and hands. Awesome. So we're going to put that all together, guys. Pelvic curl all the way up. Breathe out from that pelvic bowl. Keep it as calm as you had it in the pelvic rock. Stand into the feet, knees tracking forward, and just peeling yourself up through the spine. You'll feel a lengthening in the S bend of the neck. It's all good. I'm going to flip my hands over, palms up, and reach them out to the side, shoulder height, and extend through both fingers as I roll down and literally spread myself out like a blob of butter, melting on a piece of toast all the way down to the ground. Watch those feet. We'll inhale in neutral, wind the pelvis back up, and yet again, I might just think of stretching out through my fingertips and getting that lovely reach out through the nerve. Keeping the big toes down because my fingertips are relative to my toes as far as my nervous system goes. And I'm going to reach my fingers up into the air. So I go into a protraction as I roll down, reaching up as you roll down, exposing the middle of your spine, not butt clenching this per se. And release it back to neutral. Let the arms go back. Feel that nice stretch overhead. And then as you do your pelvic curl, bring the arms over the top at the same time, timing it really well, widening the shoulder blades, hands, wrists on the floor, fingertips on the floor. Lift the heels up. And for me, that lifts my pelvis a little higher. And as I roll down, I keep thinking of pouring cement into a trough, but that's probably not a great analogy because who wants to feel like cement anyway? But maybe it is that gentle roller coaster ride down and then lower the heels back onto the floor. One more time, this pattern. Inhale, exhale as you wind the pelvis up, toes down, heels down. Anybody wanting to challenge themselves a bit more could always take their feet just a slight bit forward. Knees are extending still in parallel. Flip those hands over and then reach them out to the sides. And roll it down, just widening through the chest. You can feel energy in the palms of your hands as you roll it down, lengthening the back, no butt clenching. Release it to neutral. Inhale. Exhale as you wind the pelvis up again, standing into the feet, no bum clenching, but reaching out through those fingertips. Lovely open, wide chest. Pubic bone is up at the top. Lift the arms up above the shoulders. My fingertips are gently reaching upwards. And then I go for protraction, like I'm reaching up for something as I roll down. That gives me real flexion from the top to the bottom. And then reach the arms back overhead as you return to neutral. Exhale, time it well as you wind the pelvis up, rolling through the spine as the arms come down, shoulder blades wide extended, elbows, wrists, hands, fingers, lifting the heels up. My feet are definitely further away now. And as I roll it down, again, I'm taking that little roller coaster ride, feeling the little carriage roll down the roller coaster rails into my lower back. And then releasing the heels back onto the floor. My feet are definitely further away than when I started. I'm going to just bring those arms up and cross them over at the elbows. So I'm holding onto my opposite elbow and I'm going to float them back overhead. Oh, one shoulder blade definitely moving different to the other. And then bringing the arms back over towards the ribs. I'll give them a little wiggle, see if I can get it back to feeling normal. And again, inhale, reaching them back overhead. And exhale, bring it back towards those ribs. I'm going to float them back above my shoulders this time, so they're straight up above my shoulder joints, and pull gently across to the right. So I'm pulling with my right hand on my left elbow, opening up that left shoulder, and then I'll bring it back across the middle, and I'll go to the other side with the left hand gently pulling on that right arm and opening the shoulder blade. And then bring it back into the center. I'll do it one more time. I'm going to just reach it over to the side. And then I'm going to circle the arms up over the top of my head. Breathing, letting those ribs kind of expand and move, and letting my chest open and close, and then bring it back into the center. And then I'll do the other way. I'm going to go over to the left, well, pulling with the left hand, and then gently circle that up over my head. Let that open my chest muscles, all the little intercostal muscles through my ribs getting stimulation, even my lungs getting a bit of stimulation. I'm bringing the arms back above those shoulders. We'll take the arms and stretch them up into the air, walking one back, one forward, one back, one forward. So there's been a subtle this week emphasis on the arms, but not making it sort of the whole class worth. And just kind of noticing if the scapula are moving well and how you're feeling about your shoulders. And maybe you're feeling happier with them. I don't know. I hope so. And then I'm going to bring both arms back overhead and take a moment to just think about my rib cage. It's not popping up. I'm going to keep my ribs softened down, back in neutral. And as you breathe out, wind the pelvis up. My feet are still slightly forward from where they were at the beginning, rolling it up. So as I peel up, I'm getting more hamstring activation. Absolutely, you might get some cramping. And then I'm going to bring those arms and bring them over towards the floor. And I'm going to do my little other version where I bend at the elbows, fingertips up to the ceiling, back of the arms on the ground. And now just think about the length through your wrists. So my hands are fully extended up to the ceiling, because sometimes we get funny wrist action here as well. Take a deep breath. Back off the pelvic lift a little bit, and then use the back of the arms to press the pelvis back up. Stand into the feet, feel the pubic bone going up a little bit more, and then back off. You can't force it, don't force it. Just kind of press into the arms, let that open the chest, and that will lead to a sort of knock-on effect of the spine, gently going through an arc and then backing off. One more time, because of course, where it feels stability at the joints, it will allow greater range of motion. Big toes stay down, knees stay gently reaching forward, and this time I'll roll it down, vertebra by vertebra. I'll keep the back of my arms imprinted on the mat and roll into the lower back. When I get there, I'll fold the right knee in, fold the left knee in, and then just wrap my arms around the top of those legs. Give a little rocking if you want a little rocking, and just allow the lower back to soften and widen and open and breathe. Notice the S-bend of your neck and make sure that it's not over-est or under-est, but it's good, your natural position. So I'm going to curl into a little chest lift. I'll tuck my chin in, slide the ribs down. I don't need to go super hard and lower back down to the ground. In fact, I'm making it pretty easy on myself. Tucking my chin in, I can feel the scaly neck muscles kind of working, which is not a bad thing because I need to have strong neck to hold up this 5 kilogram weight of a head. That becomes like 27 kilograms when I'm looking at my mobile phone or looking down at my book or at the computer keyboard. And again, curling forward, slide the ribs down. So it's not just the emphasis on the neck, but that these muscles across the top of these ribs are gently sliding your ribs down. You feel this almost like shutter-like feeling as you slide the ribs down, gently pull in the belly button and then lower the head. Wide shoulder blades. One more time. Exhale, curl, soften the throat. Don't make it tense. And we'll lower back down to the ground. We'll go into single leg extension. So I'm just going to hold my right leg in, slide the left leg out. I'll put it on the floor today and just stretch it out. Think of your hand position. So my left hand is at my knee and my right hand is at my ankle to make sure the alignment of the shin is over the thigh. And we're just going to take a breath here. Flex the left foot, flex the right foot. We'll just push out the heels. Maybe you feel that in the pelvic floor, maybe you don't, but that's happening anyway. And then peel to point. Maybe you feel a subtle tone shift in the pelvic floor. We're going to curl chin to chest, sliding those ribs down, looking down towards the feet. We're going to stretch this right leg. I've got my right hand at my ankle to stretch it. My left hand's at my knee to help me straighten that leg. And then I'll fold it back in, and it's a really easy just flip over of the right hand and lower back down to the ground. Can I do that one more time? So I'm going to exhale, curl chin to chest, softly slide the ribs down, pull in the tummy, stretch the right leg up. You've got the hands to help you. Relax the shoulders. Try not to go into tension. And keep telling yourself it's absolutely okay. Hold this position, take a deep breath and extend the left leg. and roll the wheel of the pelvis back a little bit so that the back goes more into the floor, and that helps you pelvic tilt to get the leg up. And then as you lower the leg back down, maybe you can sense that little pelvic release. The back kind of always tilts back slightly. Again, exhale, get those deep tummy muscles pulling in to roll the hip back slightly to lift the leg. So it's not all hip flexor, and lower it down, but let that lengthen out the hip flexor. And then lower down through the upper feet, and see if I notice a subtle change in the sling of muscle under my pelvis, the pelvic floor muscles. Peel to point them. Maybe you feel another slight subtle shift. Remember, every teeny weeny little thing you notice helps, right? So I'm going to think about my hand position. I've got my right hand to my ankle this time, and as I curl up into the chest lift, this is going to help me keep, no, I'm lying. I've got my left hand to my ankle, right hand to my knee, keep the alignment of that leg. And we're going to lower back down to the ground. Let's just do that one more time. Sorry, that was me messing up the arms. Taking a deep breath in and breathing out into that sort of single leg extension, which is just staying put. Okay, so now let's go straighten that left leg. I can use my left hand to help with the ankle, my right hand to press at the knee, see if it'll straighten. Relax the shoulders, fold it back in. And lay yourself back down. Notice if there was lots of tension in the neck and shoulders, and you always notice when you have to switch it off. Go again, roll it up, slide the ribs down, try not to use tension in the neck and shoulders, and we'll stretch the leg up. I know here, sort of sometimes you feel like you're hanging from that leg and the shoulders get pulley. Just try and bend the elbows a little bit more. And then we'll bend that leg back in, and from here we do that right leg extension into the lift. So as you breathe out, it's from those abdominals scooping back and the pelvis gently rolling back as the leg lifts. And then lower it down and just notice that subtle shift in the back of the hip as the pelvis returns. One more. And again, exhale. Then we did 3, so there's 2 more. I don't want to lose my extension. I want to still feel like that leg is as long as it can possibly be. One more time, shoulders soft and relaxed from the abdominals, tilting the pelvis back slightly, and then lowering that leg down to the ground and lowering the chest back. I'm going to fold the right leg in, join the left, and just go hands underneath those thighs. For both legs, stretching up into the air, and of course I want to feel the pelvis pressing back into the floor. So I personally don't stay in imprint. When I extend those legs, I know all of you are strong enough now that you don't need to, you're not going to arch your back, right? You know the difference. If your legs are going too far forward and they're too heavy, your back will arch, then we just keep the knees more bent and the feet over the pelvis rather than letting ourselves go into that horrible place. And what I want to feel is two-way energy always is downward force is upward energy. The more I sort of go to extend my legs into the air, I'm feeling the weight of the back of the pelvis press down into the ground, and my legs get lighter to straighten. And so you're just dispersing the weight not evenly, going again and pressing and hold. So I might have a little gap under my lower back, but my ribs are down and my back is not arching. And if you need to use a band or something for comfort, a pillow under your bum, by all means, we're going to stretch the right leg and lower it forward. It's not quite going to touch the floor. And then I'm going to bring it back up. And then I'm going to do the other side. So if you wanted to use a band, no problem. And then the left leg. So you'll just swap each time. Now, lowering the left leg is not quite going to touch the floor. How is that pulling on my shoulders or my ribs? Notice any of those subtle changes and try to keep them calm and ineffective. I'm going to try and really stretch both legs, not ineffective, unaffected, and bring it back up. So I don't want to shrug, I don't want to jerk. I want to see if I can feel the gliding and the sliding of the muscle tissue, the fascia, the nerve tissue. It's all kind of juicy and sliding, working together. And then the incredible thing is that all that power is really sitting in your muscles. There's no effort. You're just breathing, and all this awesome strength and power you feel through your muscles. It's yours. You own that. And then left leg, relax the neck and the shoulders, stretch those legs out and bring both of them back up. So in order for me to go into the double leg lowering, I'm going to bring my hands to behind my head. I'm going to cup the back of my head with my hands supported. Comfy elbows, but wide shoulders as you slide up into your chest lift. You're not going to clench your head. We'll go for the double leg lowering. Now, I am in my imprint now, because when I lifted my chest, I obviously brought my back into the floor. And now adding the angle of those heavy legs going forward against gravity, working in the tummy to keep that back flat on the ground is kind of my feedback marker. It also, I know personally that if I go just that little bit too far, I can feel it in the back, because my pelvis has had to tilt with the weight of the legs. I haven't been able to hold these deep lower abs in that dish position. So it's finding your boundaries, deciding each day what your intention is. Is today a day I push myself, or is today a day I actually just practice? That's fine. One more time. Inhale, floating them away, keeping them zipped together, drawstring bag nice and closed. And then exhale, bring them back up. Let's just take a little breather, lay the head down to the ground. I'm going to bring the hands down next to my hips. I'm going to give my legs a little shake out before I reset. And this is to go into that roll over. I know some of you will be delighted, but some of you might want the heads up to put a pillow or ball under your bum. And you can absolutely do that if you want to, if you want that little bit of lift under the tail. So I'm going to go back to straightening my legs up into the air. Hands are on the floor next to my hips. My head is on the ground. If your knees need to be slightly bent, I'll take it. I don't have my hands behind my head, but I'm going to scoop to chest lift, just curl my chin to my chest. So that's already given me a slight flexion, rounded back. Float the legs away to where you feel that dish is your control. You can manage that. And then bring the legs back a little quicker and roll back. Just use the momentum, guys. It is there. Flex those feet. Feel how that gently stretches the nerves down the back of the leg and over the bum. And then slowly roll it down, and think of a weight. Your bum is a weight, and the back extensors are gently pulling the weight of your bum back onto the floor. Focus on that lower back unfolding, and you'll maybe let the head go a little bit. Peel to point the toes, chest lift, slide the ribs down, guys. Keep it as easy as you can. The legs can go forward till I feel maybe that's starting to challenge my lower belly, and then I'll swing them back and roll. Roll the wheels of the pelvis. Beautiful. We're going to flex those feet, push out the heels, and then roll it down. My arms are my anchors, and I can feel my backside gently being pulled down to the ground. Back extensors unraveling, doing their jobs. Hip flexors doing their jobs. Last time, peel to point. Curl into your chest lift. Keep it nice and easy. Soften the ribs. Flatten the tummy. Breathe all the air out, because the poofy belly is just trapped air, right? Lowering their legs down. And then again, breathe all the air out. Don't leave a poofy belly. Rolling back. And we'll peel to flex those feet. Nice wide shoulders. Back of the arms firm on the ground. And then start to roll it gently down. Feeling the back unfold as the back extensors gently pull your bum to the floor. That was good. Good, Annie. I liked what you did. And then peel to point those toes. We'll bend the knees into the chest. And we're going to do a roll up to teaser. So with or without hands, get rid of a pillow if you have one. And as you roll up, we'll extend those legs and lift up nice and tall. Beautiful. We're going to fold the knees in. The weight of the knees coming in creates that lovely deep dish scoop. I just have to decelerate, right? Because going forward, yep, the weight of the legs extending forward, the energy going forward helps pull me up, but then the energy of unfolding into me will accelerate my movement. I just have to slow it down. One more time. Rolling up into that modified teaser. Whoa, that's it, beautiful. And then just bend those legs and give yourself a little cuddle. Scooping in the tummy. You can put the feet back down onto the floor. Breathe down your back and into your sits bones. As you breathe out, you feel your tummy draw away from your thighs, right? Because you're breathing out with a full belly. And again, breathe down into your sits bones. Feel where that opens you out. And as you breathe out from the bottom of your pelvis, like it's a trampoline, just let it push all the air out, soften the ribs. And then I'm going to flip my knees open. And I'm going to my C curve, fold forward. So as you breathe out from those abdominals, making your drawstring bag, and then soften your hips as you just fold over the front of the legs. And we're going to walk the hands forward. Relax the neck and shoulders and just breathe down into your back. It's important to me to get my fingertips on the ground because that makes me feel like my arms are actually connected to the floor. And when I breathe out, it allows me to just kind of fall into the cradle of those arms. One more time, and of course the breath in, I could crawl my fingers further forward if I wanted, but I don't want neck tension. And then I'm going to let those fingertips go and just roll it up. We're going to tuck one leg in behind the other and just roll onto the hip. So my hand is down next to my hip. I got my foot on the ground. I'm going to press down and lift up and just have that lovely stretch through my side. And then bring my bum back down onto the floor. You can tell we've now come away from foundation stuff again and pressing down to lift up. Never be uncomfortable. If something's uncomfortable, change it and feel like you're really lifting up. There's activity through the waist and the hip there. And lowering back down, unless you're totally focused on this side, which is also stretching. One more time, pressing, but there is stuff everywhere. I'm not leaning on my arm. And then I'm going to bring it back down. Awesome. Right, I'm going to extend this leg out to the front, and I'm going to bring it back behind me. Easy. Extend it to the front, and bring it back behind me. Extend to the front. Can we do that when we're in our little bridge, right? So here we go. Stand onto the foot, lift the hips up. Find your big bridge. Now stand on the top foot, lift the knee up and extend the other leg forward and open up those hips. Awesome. I'm not going to stop there. The straight leg is going to step back and I'm going to turn into plank. So I'm just going to switch. That's it. Good job, guys. Nice wide shoulder blades. Take the bum up into the sky for an up stretch or down dog, whatever language you want to talk. Turn those upper arms out. Feel the chest widening, the shoulder blades tucking in under the shoulder blades. It's so good. And then I'm just going to keep my hips pushed back and bend my knees. Keep pushing the weight back. Put the knees gently on the ground. Feel that little stretch through the lower back. And then I'll roll myself, angry cat, up over those wrists. And then I'm just going to bring my leg through, sit on my bum, and then bring the other leg on top. It should be my second leg. I didn't do rights and lefts, so that probably made it confusing. So you can see how we're building up into a pattern that will just roll. But for now, let's just do the preparation here. So I'm going to just stand on the foot and lift it up. Oh, it takes me a moment to find where everything needs to be. And then bring it back down. And yeah, I almost have to think about sitting. Well, I'll tell you now. Stand onto the foot, press the hips up. You want to feel that you're active through here, lifting, but you're stretching through here. And then I almost want to sit my bum back towards my heel rather than too close to my hand. So I'm getting a little bit of that back extension on the angle. So just training those muscles in different ways. So you can feel how you have to extend your back to put your bum down next to your heel, right? Awesome. Then I'm going to just take the underneath leg and stretch it forward and pull it back. So it goes, okay, I know I can do the motion. I know it's trickier when you're standing on that leg, but it just gives us a bit of confidence. Put it together. So we'll press up, Find that lovely big arc, standing on your standing foot as you lift your hips and take the leg out and stretch it to the front. Press the pelvis forward and up. That's it, even more. Go, Annie. Press that into the foot. Excellent. Now step back with that straight leg into plank. Beautiful. Into up stretch. Oh, so good. Let's just do a little pedaling here. Bend one, stretch one. Bend one, stretch one. Bend one, stretch one. Getting it right over the sole of the foot, through the heel. Oh, up into the buttock. 2 more times. I'll stretch back both heels, wide shoulder blades, and then bend the knees and put them gently on the floor. So I can just take my front leg forward and put the other leg down. Straight into it, right? So it's just the spinning around bit. So, okay, so I've got my right foot flat and I've got my left foot under, if rights and lefts mean anything. We're going to stand on the right foot as we lift up. We'll stand on it some more, lift the pelvis and stretch the leg to the front, and then really open up those hips. That's it. Stepping, it'll be my left leg back, right hand onto the ground, into my plank. Beautiful, up into your up stretch. This is where I'm going to change it up, and we're going to go into our spinal wave. So we'll rise up onto the balls of the feet, curl the hips towards the ribs, scoop in the tummy and gently feel the ribs as they press into the shoulder blades as you roll forward. Open the hips, turn out the arm bones and feel the shoulder blades tucking under, thighs on the ground. We'll take a deep breath and we'll go bum first, scooting back. As soon as you feel you can take the weight off the knees, do so, stretching those legs back up. And then if you were the same as me earlier, you're going to bring your right knee forward and sit down. Otherwise, it'll be the left. So bring the right knee forward, sit down on your right bum, and swing your left leg around to the front to your start position. Excellent. And off we go. So we'll stand on it, lift the hips up. Beautiful, lovely stretch. And then we'll stand on that left foot. For me, it's left, and I'll stretch the right leg forward a little bit more and lift the pelvis up, 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 up. The straight leg in front steps back into plank. Beautiful. And then hips up into the air. And heels down, so that I've got to go heels up, pushing with the balls of the feet, curl the hips towards the ribs, scooping in the tummy, coming to lower the thighs down, turn out the arms, point your toes, take a deep breath. Lower the chest down this time, that's all good in the hood. And I'm just going to go into my little scorpion, so my hands are going to widen. I'm going to lift my chest so that I don't hurt the girls. And I'm going to kick up the right leg, bend it, swing it back. And then roll the hip to the ground and lower center. Other side, kick it up and swing it back. Look over that shoulder and come back. Excellent, yes. Kick up the leg, bend it, feel it, pull the hip open. Lovely spiral through the body, and then lifting the leg behind you. I always like that idea. One more time, kick it up. And just to make sure that we are getting that idea, let's just do the combination of swan and then into scorpion hurdle stretch. So we go hands under the shoulders, anchor that pelvis, turn out those upper arms, feel the shoulder blades tuck under as you lift. You're not bending the back, you're supporting it with your tummy, and then lowering down by bending the elbows next to your shoulders. Move your hands, kick up the right leg, bend it back and sit up. That's it, left leg straight, right leg bends, and reach towards the toes in your hurdle stretch. Going to go back the way you came, so bring your hands back behind you over the left there, put the hands down, chest comes down, waist, hips, legs, and then swan, and press up, swan or cobra, ribs together, extending those arms and gently lowering down. Left leg, kick it up, bend it back, sit up, and reach towards your toes. That's it, nice big stretch through your back, deep breath. Bring the hands back down to your right again, come down chest, waist, hips, thigh. I'm going to do one more on each side before we finish today. Just pressing up and finding space. I'm not judging myself on how far I'm going. I'm judging myself on how I'm letting it feel. Sweeping it around. And how I want to move, whatever feels good to me. I know what the pattern's supposed to be. And press. Beautiful, turning out those arms, finding that space. It's like you're a queen all the time. Graceful, with a big chunk of diamonds around your neck. And a crown on your head. And back. Oh, yeesh. I'm enjoying it far too much today. And then I'm going to reverse curl. Bum goes up at the back, scooting back. Butt over the heels and just ending in your pose of a child. Relax the elbows onto the ground. Give yourself a little smush gently from side to side. That's it. Taking a lovely big breath into the hips, into the sit bones. And then find your pelvic floor. Find your deep lower tummy muscles to roll you up. You feel the support. It sort of gives the front of the spine and mobilizes you. And then just roll off those shoulders. How was that? Oh, excellent.